Hello, everyone. You are listening to another episode of This is Nashville, a podcast that focuses on the people that make Nashville their home, whether they work there, live there, even tour there, maybe. So today, wow, a band that I had the pleasure to actually share a stage with at one point in my life. I used to be in a band, a kind of like a garage rock type band. And so, especially living in Nashville or being a musician in Nashville, you never know when you play gigs who you're going to play with. We had played with rap groups, hard rock groups, metal groups, reggae groups, and even, as this band, a country band that was much more than that. As they're called, the Punknecks. And I think their name sums them up very well. Jason and Polly Punkneck make up the Punknecks. And I remember playing with them at Loud House Coffee in Greenbrier, Tennessee. It was just two of them that night, and there's more that make up the Punkneck band, as we talk about in the interview. But that night, it was just two of them, and they captured the stage. They captured the audience. They were louder than any band that played that night, and they were stuck in my memory banks forever. I became a fan for sure, and even meeting them, they had charisma, they were nice, they were charming, everything about them. So when we started this podcast, me and Corey, This is Nashville, I knew that at some point I wanted to interview them. And I'd asked them a while back, and schedules get busy and everything, but I wanted to definitely get this band on this podcast because I think they represent especially an artist brand of Nashville where they take a little bit of punk rock, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll, and they make it their own. They make it their own style of music, and it is truly, it's almost a brand at this point as we talk about in the interview. So now, right now, they're in California. When I talk to them, they'll probably be in 1,000 other states. They'll always call Nashville their home, though, but they tour a lot. They're a touring band. They're a touring husband and wife, so we talk about that as well. Very entertaining. Jason is truly a character, and he's always fun to talk to, and Polly is just a ray of light in the world. So I had a great time talking to them. I'm sure you're going to love them as well. So make sure you go out and support them. We give all the information out in the episodes, so make sure you do that. I'm always saying support local music for sure. I mean, especially my love of it. I used to do a music podcast for several years that featured basically indie music. So please go out and support music if you can. If you have a few extra dollars, do that. Now, on our end, we don't ask for anything but your love and support. I mean, if you want to donate us like $1,000, I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to give you ways you could get in touch with us. Of course, there's a website, thisisnashville.info. You can go there for all past episodes, and up at the top, there's links like Twitter. You can follow us, This is Nashville. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/thisisnashville. And that's all I really know about right now. Who knows where we're at? We might be all over the place, but thisisnashville.info will get you the main hub. You can go to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review. That'd be nice. Also available on Stitcher Radio. So trying to make a name for ourselves, and more importantly, we're trying to make a name for people in Nashville that you may not have heard of before, but definitely the backbone of the Nashville city. So with that being said, you're going to enjoy this, I'm very sure. Two of my favorite artists in the entire world, Jason and Polly Punkneck. Enjoy. This is Dave of This is Nashville, and today I'm very, very honored to have an amazing band that I happened to A, play with once, and see live once, and they are unique. Both people in the band are definitely characters. They stand out, and they actually have talent as well. So that's definitely something you don't run into much. So obviously on the line, I have Jason and Polly Punkneck of the Punknecks.
What's up?
So we're talking before the interview started. You guys are on the road, man, right now in California. How's life in California?
Silicon Valley, dude. We're right where all the microchip magic happens right now at the most high-tech Walmart in the world.
We travel all over the country, and we find a home at Walmart parking lot.
Well, that's America, I guess. The Walmart parking lot is what it's turned into. So
Yeah, that's definitely one of the sweet spots.
It's a Motel 6 for campers.
Well, let's talk about you guys for a little bit if people don't know who you are. I guess we'll start with just broad. I mean, how do you describe your band, your sound, and kind of who you are to people that have never heard you before?
I would say that we are the definition of a punk country bluegrass band from a non-traditional standard.
Yeah, and we started as a big band in L.A.
Huge.
10 years ago. In like 2004 is when I joined the band. Actually, the Punknecks were already formed when I joined, and then I played for about a year in L.A. and then we decided to hit the road, and we've been on the road for about 9 years now. So we're definitely a gypsy Americana punk country band. Yeah, and we just began our Just Us tour.
Yeah, it's been really big. I mean, I'm really amazed at the turnouts we've been having for the Just Us tour. It's like just me and Polly, and she plays the snare and switches off. We switch off to so many different levels on this new show that we're doing. It's like the fans are just loving it. It's more intimate. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean,
I'll explain it. We are giving everybody the love story.
Yeah, that's what's really unique about you guys. I was going to ask how you guys met one another because speaking of just two of you, I think I saw you in like 2005, 2006. It's hard to say at a place called Loud House Coffee in Greenbrier, Tennessee. But when I saw you that night, it was just two of you, and it was one of the most...
Well, that was hometown. That was, I don't even know if we even considered being home when we were at home playing, man. It's us trying not to kill each other.
Right?
There's definitely, for the most part, the past 8 years has been different band members in and out, and if you'd have caught us as a duo in those past 8 years, it was probably because it was right in between a change up of the people in the band, or maybe we were just home and so everyone was dispersing or something.
Well, how did you guys meet exactly? I mean, did you meet through this band, or how did that happen?
Oh, it is so romantic, Dave. Let Jason tell you. Well, I was waiting on pot. Polly came in right before my pot dealer, and I ended up cock-blocking my pot dealer. That's how I met her in Hollywood, California, back in 2004. I guess, right?
Yeah.
And
I was just a baby.
And basically, it was like a serenade upon a serenade. Like, we both serenaded each other with music, but, like, it was the forefront, of something that we really had no intention on really hanging out, but we both were just head over heels for each other when we first met. But we wanted to enjoy rock and roll, and we fought that feeling for about 6 weeks. And like, you don't court a stripper, like, you don't just go get them flowers and pick them and all that stuff. And she definitely wasn't a stripper, so I thought every day that I'd go see her, I'd pick her flowers from other people's yards. And then by the time I was walking to her house one day, I realized all the flowers were picked along the whole path. And so I had to start picking up those piss daisies by the bus stop. But that's when I realized I should tell this girl I love her, dude. Totally.
Yeah, see, he was working at a tattoo shop on Hollywood Boulevard, and I didn't know I was on a run with a drug dealer. It was a guy that offered me lunch in Hollywood, so I naively went. And but it turned out for a great thing, because I met Jason, and
we're celebrating 10 years come May together.
Yep, which brings us to the announcement that you've all been waiting for.
And everyone's invited to come to our marriage renewal.
At the Kiss Hotter Than Hell Wedding Chapel,
Las Vegas.
On Cinco de Mayo.
May 5th, if you don't understand Spanish.
Well, there you go.
And it's by Gene Simmons Minister.
Wow, that's pretty epic.
You're invited, Dave.
Well, there you go. If I could get out to Las Vegas, I surely would. That sounds like it's going to be an amazing time.
On a Monday, so it's Sunday, just come Sunday and Monday. It'd be cheap as hell.
There you go.
Not just that. We're trying to get everybody out to Vegas to party with our dive bar drinking crew from the dive bar there, which is our home bar there, and we're having a reception there with a hell of a mariachi punk band, and we get to sing on stage there for a few songs that night.
And a bunch of fried food.
It's gonna be like Hangover 4.
There you go. It'd actually be good though, as opposed to the Hangover 2 and 3. So you guys have been together 10 years. Like, tell me how that works. Like, you're on the road, you're around each other all the time. I mean, how does that work?
We're best friends, dude. We have a lot in common. There's a big age, there's an 11-year age difference, but you know, we have a lot in common. We're both artists, not just in the music sense, but just period. Like, I paint, and Polly supports that. She makes clothes, and she also has her own album and her own band. I mean, we're always really productive, and I think it takes two productive people to lead a healthy, productive life.
And, you know, we were just talking about that the other day, saying, you know, if we were just husband and wife, I don't know if it would work. I mean, we're just more than that. You know, we're best friends, and we're partners, and we do art together, and we do art separately. You know, we just talk a lot.
We try to tell each other how to drive, but not how to live, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got it. If they ever make a movie out of your life, I mean, that'd be awesome. But I've already got it.
We're working on it.
I've always said Polly is a dead ringer for Patricia Arquette in a movie called True Romance. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but go check it out.
Yeah, classic.
And then obviously Jason to me, I mean, he would have to be played by Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, he's kind of got that look and everything. So if you guys can make that happen.
I love Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, there you go. I think that would be awesome. So
now that is awesome. Yeah. I like that mix.
I've already got it. Yeah, I've already got it in my head. So now let's talk about, I want to talk to Jason about your influence. I mean, have you always, I mean, number one, if no one knows what you look like, you're heavily tattooed. You kind of look like you say, country punk rocker, but has country always been your thing, or did you go through like a punk rock phase?
Well, I guess I've been around music my whole life. My mom tried to make me a child star when I was a young kid, and moved us to Nashville when I was just finishing elementary school. And it's like my whole life it was about entertaining people, from Avon meetings back in the 80s, dancing like Michael Jackson, to, you know, doing plays and being in singing groups, you know, like choir singing groups and dance groups. And then my mom was also Bobby Bear, country western singer's secretary for quite a few years. And there's always been a link, you know. My mom was always a big pop country fan of the 70s and 80s. So it's like you know, just always hearing that punk country thing. I just can't believe that I actually got to be able to be a part of the whole punk country movement, however long it's been going on to now. You know, I'm just glad to be a part of it. You know, I never thought that was in my cards, playing music, if you're asking me if I thought. But basically, you know, grew up around a bunch of country singers kids, and watching these kids, you know, like they're keeping up with their families' names and stuff. They can't really help a lot of people, but you know, when you start to see that, you start to understand that, you know, the country thing kind of became the new punk, you know, because you get to a part in your life where violence and slam dancing ain't your bag no more. The aggression ain't there no more, and you need a let out. And music just became the let out. You know, I'm a power chord person. I'm not the best musician in the world. There's no secret to that. It's just that you know, the passion and having 200 songs to get to play with and release albums with is good too. We write most of our music on stage with our fans. It's a real intimate thing. We're really intimate with our fans too. So it's like, I don't know if it's all music or if it's just all art, you know? I don't know. I've always been an artist and a musician, and I love Hank Jr. I like Hank Jr. a lot more than Hank Williams Sr. I like Waylon Jennings. I like Hellbound Glory is probably one of my favorite of today's. Hellbound Glory and Cutthroat Shamrock. But there's other bands out there like the Calamity Cubes, Filthy Steel. There's many others. There's a whole world of really good artists out there that have come in for the past few years, and you know what? I guess I need to start asking them what their influences are. Cause, you know, I guess I get tired of hearing like the same old. Like, if everybody was influenced by Hank Williams, then we're all going to hear a lot of Hank Williams shit. I don't know if we need to hear that. You know, do we need to hear a bunch of Hank Jr. covers? No. You need to write original shit and try to sound like yourself.
But yeah,
I don't know where we with that.
No, that's what art is. You know, it's taking, like you say, looking at the guy next to you and saying, "Hey, who do you like?" You know, maybe you like something I don't, and pushing the forefront. Because I mean, obviously, I can hear Hank and influences, but you guys are broke far away from that. You know, so obviously you've taken that, and you know, I'm sure some band
sometimes,
out there.
well, no, Hank 3 for sure would be an influence. I can't deny that, but at the same time, me and him catch quite a few similarities just in that tenor baritone range, and that sometimes I feel like there's an influence there, but I really try to develop it to where it's just as OG as it can be, you know. We're not a typical picking band, you know. We're a power strumming acoustic fiasco, you know, of like right now we just got it so down. Like right now, me and Polly's Power as a duo, the past few weeks we just been up against nothing but bands, you know, like really good bands, really good bands. And here we are headlining, the two of us, and we're holding the same reign, and people are saying really nice things to us, like they look up to us, and you know, they love our music, or they're really excited to see us, whatever, you know. And it's I think that alone kind of takes it out of the whole music realm to where it's like, wow, this is like so much just more powerful than just music. So it's hard to answer questions when it really has to do with music, when it's more than music, you know. It's religion. It's a life. I mean, like it's everything to us. Like our day sucks if we don't play, you know. I mean, if we do have a day off, well, I pray to God that we're always 5 days worn out, you know. I think if you're bored, you're boring, you know. So try not to be boring if you don't like being bored.
That's good advice, actually. I've never heard that before, but yeah, that's pretty spot on. But like you said, it is like an experience at your show is like, it's more than music. I mean, you know, that's the experience I got out of it, and it really stuck with me, obviously, you know, where when I meet someone here, I'm like, do you know the Punknecks? And a lot of time I'll get, yeah. So obviously a lot of people have experienced that and taken it with them.
Well, you know, we're almost hated amongst the mainstreamers, you know, because we try to be so underground and not so attached to the mainstream, you know, that, you know, we do catch flack, you know, for being so underground, you know. But at the same time, our underground's becoming so mainstream that you can't really fight it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't get that when people do that, but you know, that's I guess that's people.
Oh my God, it's so high school. You have no idea. If you could read my emails, you would fucking see my haters, dude.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you know, obviously when you stand out like that, I guess you are a target for it. So justified or not. How do you mix kind of like, so you've got obviously, you know, your kind of flavor and like that, and you got Polly coming in. I mean, how do you guys kind of mix that together? I mean, is it something that's come pretty natural, or is it something you kind of had to work with?
All in natural. We're like so in sync. Like honestly, like we finish each other's sentences. I could sit there and sing a song right now, and I swear to God, she'd have the harmonies down in 2 seconds. I mean, like it's she would know what I was gonna say, or she just knows my natural rhythms. I mean, it's all. We don't really discuss who does what or how it's going to be done. It just kind of comes together, falls together, and then it is. We definitely understand each other's strengths and weaknesses real well, that we can cover them up in front of everybody.
Well,
You know.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't, it's obviously, I can keep saying it, but people see it. I mean, there's not a lot of weaknesses, and obviously that's what I'm saying. You guys mesh well together, and it's not surprising you do kind of work on songs together.
Dude, when the Punknecks are in a bar fight, let me tell you, most people have a whole band behind them, but I'll tell you what, when I get in a fight, it's always just me, man. It's always just me.
Yeah.
Fighting with 12 people, that's far and few anymore, but this past year has been pretty good without the fight. The past, 9 years, you run into your hecklers that are, just feel like other bands are so much better than you, and that you really suck and you need to know it. And we try not to have place in that, but at the same time, we're not scared of it at the same time, with our brand of music, we like to provoke emotion, not just with the music, but also with our banter, we like to say things that are pretty much sarcastic, vulgar, but it's like at the same time it brings up some closet inside it.
I would like, I would like to see, one man army. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to fight the fights. But like you say, I guess as you get older, hopefully those fights will kind of go away a little bit for sure. I mean, what's life like on the road though? Like, I'm thinking you're on the road all the time. I mean, how often are you getting pulled over? Number one, I'm curious about that, especially with your look. I mean, you got to be getting hassled.
We've been pulled over quite a few times over the years, but honestly, the cops have been really nice to us over the years. Like, I mean, for real, they've only taken Polly in once.
Well, here we go. So we used to get pulled over a lot because we had crazy vehicles. I mean, we've had 8 different vehicles in the past 9 years on the road. And, at first we would get, these really cheap 1980s conversion vans that we could work on the engine while we're on the road. And we would paint, hillbilly rock and roll on the sides, or like Punknecks in bright circus pink. And, the cops, it was just a total eyesore. It was like a target for them. So when we finally got our just plain white 15-passenger van, and then we ended up getting the camper a year later, it just looks like Grandma and Grandpa gone camping. So that's the reason we don't get pulled over, I think, as much a lot. And then also, just from dealing with the cops so much, we just get straight to the point. When we get pulled over, we just give them everything.
I think there's
give them our drugs.
I think there's a national advisory on the Punknecks. When we get pulled over, like we're gonna have weed or we're gonna be stoned. We give them all that to where they really, we throw them off their protocol, and they every time they just end up citing us. Actually, a lot of cops that pull us over, once they talk to us, they always say that we were cooperative, courteous, and the most fun people they've ever pulled over. So I think that to all you listeners out there, if you get pulled over, just quit treating them like you're a liar and they're stupid, and I swear to God, they might let you go.
Now, you said Polly got taken in once? What?
She got taken in for about a quarter pound of weed one time in Texas, and that was $2,500. It was easy to get her out of jail. When she's in jail, everybody will kidnap her.
Right.
But you know what's so crazy? She ended up not going to court and ended up writing a letter to the judge, and the judge said, "Send me $200 and we'll let it go." I'm like, well, wow.
Yeah, there you go, right?
So that's another one for you listeners. Write the judge a letter.
Even if you think it ain't gonna work, I'm like, it ain't gonna work.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to try, I guess. So, so you guys, obviously traveling around the road and things. I mean, you don't have a typical day, but what is a typical day like? I mean, most of us, we're getting up early in the morning, we're going to work, we're sitting at a crappy cubicle, we're kind of hating our life a little bit.
Polly wakes up early every day, no matter what time we go to bed, 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever. She'll wake up about 9 or 10 or earlier, and she'll get online, she'll go get some groceries, start breakfast. She normally will make the best O'Brien potatoes in the world. fried O'Brien potatoes with normally eggs and some tortillas, and I'll cook me coffee with a French press. She always gets the day started real good, and then normally we'll go to Planet Fitness. We use Planet Fitness across the country to shower and work out and watch TV. And we watch movies, of course, in our camper, but we watch TV and the news and stuff in Planet Fitness, which we've been doing for the past year. And we do that across the country. And then we drive. We do a lot of driving. And we always get from we try to get to a venue probably about 5 hours before we play, just get a good parking spot. And we start partying right then, probably. And then we'll, it's just repeat. Every day.
Rinse, wash, and repeat.
Yeah, rinse, wash, and repeat.
That's funny because if you told me you go to Planet Fitness every day, I would have said no way. Like if someone would have told me that before the interview, but that's pretty cool. I never really thought about that,
I think that we're the only heavy weed smokers that go there, though.
Actually, our buddies, the Coffin Cats.
The Coffin Cats turned us on to it.
Yeah, they told us about Planet Fitness. And it was just a way to get showers, and it's really cheap a month.
I was like, no way, dude. I don't want to go get healthy, dude. I'm in rock and roll to die. They're like, it's got TV. You like TV and massages, don't you? They got massage chairs, $20 a month. I was like, wow. And next you know, dude, I'm lifting weights, running 3 miles. I can't live without it.
Exactly.
But actually, it's calmed me down. Like that's cut down the anger for bar fights. It's allowed me to psychologically weigh out things versus just reacting. It's been a pretty healthy experience.
That's nice. Yeah.
On top of trying to quit smoking, cigarettes, not weed, but cigarettes.
Yeah, one step at a time. So.
Hopefully I'll never quit smoking weed. We're advocates for weed. We're praying to God Tennessee will get it legalized. We're proud supporters of the Nashville Normal chapter. We're not members, but we definitely support them in every way possible of passing any kind of literature out to the public because it's saving lives. I mean, some it's not saving everyone's lives, but saving some lives. And I think if it's saving some, it should just be medicalized or decriminalized. It just should be a little light-handed, and it'll probably just be Washington and Colorado that are the legalized ones out of the whole shebang. But, if everything's medicalized, then if you severely have a medical problem, you can, and marijuana helps you. I think it's definitely the best way to do it, from eating it, smoking it, rubbing it, drinking it, whatever. I mean, I've done it every way you can out here on the West Coast. Plus, it'll create jobs. We're not here to talk about weed.
So you're talking about California. I mean, what do you see a big difference between West Coast fans and maybe Southern fans? And I mean, you guys have been everywhere. Is there?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Huge. I think the difference is the West Coast is a little bit more trendy with the Southern fashion, and they prep it up, and then the South is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more lazier, and the version of it is, it's like seeing, to me, it's like, it's just foreign. It's not Southern, but I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You can't hate them for trying. They don't have Walmart. How can you look Southern if you don't have a bunch of Walmarts?
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Yeah, it's a Southern staple for sure.
It's not just country. I mean, whatever. It's like their version. I mean, it's like you go from rednecks to Mexican. Their version of a country person would be a Mexican out here.
Yeah,
and I don't know too many damn liberal rednecks, and the ones I meet out here are pretty liberal or gay or whatever, and they just look really hillbilly, but they're really gay, and you're like, wow. Nothing against you being gay, but wow, you threw me off.
Right? Yeah.
You look like, it's like it's pretty wild. I mean, we could see all four corners of the country and the center, and with some states would be real moralistic, like Kansas and Oklahoma and Nebraska, in Iowa, and then you get places like Florida that's just hungry for a lot of traveling talent that, you know, because they get a lot of major bands, but they really love, you know, independent traveling bands. And then you go down there, the top part's really Americanized and the lower part's really Cuban and Haitian, and to deal with those cultural things is different. Like, you don't know, Mexicans and Cubans really don't get along. You know, we're not taught those things, you know, but on the real hand of life, you know, you ask for salsa at a Cuban place, they're going to tell you the most racist stuff ever. And it's really wild, you know, like, and then you go to L.A., you know, I have a bunch of Persian and Russian friends, and they all hate a bunch of different other cultures. And I'm just going, dude, we weren't raised to hate a lot of cultures. It's like, you know, there are haters out there, but you don't try to sit there and fucking carry on cultural hate, you know, but it's everywhere. It's crazy. Like, the hippies up northwest are, you know, radical with their mouths, and where we come from, we would punch somebody for talking so aggressively and passionate about characteristics of oneself, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's really wild. And at least in the South, you know, I mean, although Nashville's changing really big with a lot of out-of-towners moving into it. It's always been like that, but everybody's just not from here.
You have a lot of produce, good produce.
Yeah, and they got Trader Joe's. I mean, all that organic shit that you're hearing about, it's all out here. But it's like you know, there are yogurt places out here, you know, have a lot more healthier food in them to go on your yogurt versus you go to Tennessee, it's a bunch of M&Ms and cereal, you know.
Yeah, obviously Nashville or Tennessee, we don't have some of the best, healthiest people living here, obviously. So I'm sure it's a little bit different out there. Now, you guys are a touring band, obviously. Like you say, you tour, I mean, your entire lives.
Yeah.
How do you make a living doing that? Like, you're particular, you two of you. I mean, is it based on merchandise sales, album sales? I mean, how are you making your living?
Well, we have a few different A, B, or C packages, depending on how many times we've been there. But normally it's harder for a lot of the newer cities just because we do have a certain guarantee we like to have mass. And but a lot of times our door covers will cover our guarantee, and our merch really pulls us out. With everybody buying our merch, that really takes us further than anything. But speaking of merch, we have a new CD out online at cdbaby.com/the Punknecks. But the merch is the big one. But every venue, if they don't get me out of there the way I need to, I probably won't be back, you know. And but we do really good. I mean, we pay our taxes. At least we file our taxes, pay our Social Security. We have an IRA that we pay forward just to cover in case Social Security goes out. You know, I mean, we've created a business, you know, that doesn't pay us a lot, but it pays us better than the life that we were living before, you know, and it's only been good the past few years, you know. It just keeps getting better, but, you know, like the first 5 years were really rough and busky and really trying to figure out, you know, a business. You know, a band is a business. If you don't treat it like that, you know, treat your employees good. You know, if you yell at them too much, they're going to quit. I mean, it's just the same thing. You know, it's a business, and a lot of people don't look at it. They always say like shit like, you know, I play music because I love it. You know, like, well, wouldn't you like something you love to love you back? You know,
Yeah.
You know, it's like I couldn't feel more grateful doing what I'm doing.
Now, you talked about your album, the new album called Road to Nowhere, which you can get, obviously, like I said, cdbaby.com/punknecks. Tell us a little bit about that album. Has that been something you've recorded? When do you find time to record, I guess, is the first question.
Well, this album's done differently than every one of them. We actually paid a bunch of money to do it on a bigger level than what we normally would have, and went to Solomon Mines Studios in Fletcher, North Carolina, an old train depot to record with a bunch of in a really cool environment, and by Russell Anders, he's worked with P-Funk and Artemis Pyle, quite a few different people, and he was like, Jason, we need to put you on an album, man, that's better than everything you've ever done. And you know, we've been writing a few songs for a few years on stage just to prepare for this album, and we finally did it. And then it took 7 months to get it out with mixing and mastering and packaging, and it's the longest process I've ever done. And but it's one of my best jewel projects ever. It's I think our best album ever.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely what you want to push for. And like you say, that band, I mean, obviously that was done with you and Polly. Was that just different musicians coming in and out, helping with the album, or just?
Yeah, well, it's all Punknecks on it, and it's full element album with all the elements, and then some. It's got the pirate song on it. We did a couple of the bluegrass songs to where they're more up to par, with speed that we do them today, and. It's probably our last drinking and drugging album, to be honest with you. But we definitely had to go through a bunch of revelations, recording a rockumentary we've been doing for the past few years, and we decided to, go down some roads we'd never been down, and it was pretty intense, coming out of that state of mind. Yeah. I don't know where I just went with that.
Who knows? I guess that's called getting older. I guess maybe the next album you'll talk about Planet Fitness, 401ks, IRAs.
No way. Actually, I'm really dying to. In Nashville, I plan on this fall putting together a big, fat, full band, like my own little Velvet Revolver style band together for Nashville. Not necessarily the country, but for the U.S., but just for when I'm at home. A big power band, just for Nashville, and then see what I can do with that.
Nice.
Because I'm next year, I know Polly's releasing an album, and I'm gonna let her see if she can support that, as good as she can, while I try to do some recording for her to have to re-record on when she gets back.
And Polly was part of something in Nashville, if I'm thinking right. With
the Hillbilly Harlot.
There you go. Yeah, Rebecca Jed, right? I think that's who.
Yeah, Rebecca Jed, Brandy, Mimus Jones, and we've had some other members, Lily Mae Reish and Sky, and I feel like I'm forgetting a lovely lady. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. And myself. That's who I'm forgetting.
Well, there you go. You can't forget yourself. But that was really good stuff. Like I really liked that vibe you had. I've got obviously a couple of your albums and your solo album, Polly, which I really, or EP, whatever it was, but I like that as well. So as I say, I just like both flavors coming together. Like especially hearing Jason might be doing like this kind of rock thing. That sounds awesome to me. Like I'm really excited about that. So I would love to see. I'm excited to see what you guys got going on. I know you got like a ton of dates. Like. You go to your website, punknecks.com. I mean, there's dates. Now, I'm looking forward to, looks like May 22nd, Thursday at the Foo Bar. You're coming back to Nashville. So
Yes,
that's going to be epic.
We are so excited. Please come out. Foo Bar has always it just kind of became a little home for us in Nashville to play. And I think it's a long-lasting place that we play in Nashville.
Yeah, it's a cool little place. It's not too big. It's not too small. I mean, our band used to love playing there, so I'll definitely be there. I can't wait. I mean, but you guys are just...
It's one of our favorite bars to play in Nashville, for sure.
I mean, you got, like I say, California, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Missouri, Tennessee. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I just can't, it's great that you're getting out there and spreading the word and that you're doing so well. And, I'm encouraging people to go get the new album as well. And if you're listening to this and you're in town, we better see you at the Foo Bar. And if not, you're going to hear from us. But, it seems like you guys are doing really good. How do you get, I guess, the people to kind of interact with you? I know you're really big on like Instagram. How do you guys have adapted to social media, especially how it's changed over like 10 years or so since you've been a band?
That's a big part of it. But I would say the biggest part of it is mainly that most of the people on Facebook those 5,000 people on our personal ones, and then the 7,000 or 6,000 on the band profile. Those are all people we've met. You know, it's like so it's that's a big part of it. But I think that going out there and shaking their hands, drinking a beer, smoking a joint, talking with them, I think that's our best asset. You know, is you come to our show and you like our show and you like our music. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna like us.
We really do love interacting with the people that come out to a live show. There's just still nothing like it. We are all over online. I mean, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Reverb Nation, we're on Bandcamp and SoundCloud, and I mean, we really try to sign up for every single thing that's out there because it's another form of advertisement, getting the Punknecks out there. But there's still nothing like the live interaction, which is like Jason's saying, it's so important.
Yeah, that's a point everybody should. And we've talked to several people, and a lot of people start saying like, hey, yeah, you've got Twitter and you've got this, but you've got to actually go talk to these people. You actually got to go make a connection in person. And I think that's really important. When you talk to people.
Yeah, because it's neat that, everybody could stay home these days and be completely entertained from their own home. I mean, there's YouTube and there's all these wonderful series on TV and there's movies and, you can listen to music from your home or this and that. But people still go out because they want that live entertainment. And, you know what? I appreciate people that are still going out and seeing the real deal, right in front of them and feeling the energy. So I definitely want to give it right back to them.
Very nice. But it's like the original, what social media was supposed to be, was supposed to be about interaction. So it's nice to see people are still doing that in person, as opposed to,
definitely.
A crazy idea. So, well, guys, I mean, I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. Do you want to kind of give out your plugs where people can get your stuff, go back over the album again, your website, all that?
Yeah, punknecks.com. You can check out the Punknecks on our Facebook page. We've got music on iTunes and CD Baby. Just search Punknecks and we'll pop up. And, you can find our shows, our music, and hell, even if you send a message, we'll probably reply.
There you go, people. You don't have any other excuse. Well, like I said, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know you guys are, like you said, you're busy all the time. And I thank you so much for coming on the show, talking to me. And I will definitely be seeing you May at the Food Bar. Can't wait.
Yes.
Right,
well,
buddy.
thank you so much, Dave. I'm so glad we could finally talk to you.
No
That's
problem.
right. Get them time zones fixed.
Right. Well, some of us aren't living the California lifestyle, so, Well, guys, thanks so much once again. Yeah, and we'll talk to you real soon, okay?